we might have a good idea that, okay, collateral is going to move on chain. That's great. But you've got to go out there and get some of the biggest banks in the world, clearinghouses, CSDs, customers to all move towards using those types of transactions. And that's going to take a long time. But I reckon over the next, 1 to 3 years, we should see a good couple of trillion on there at least. And then 5 to 10 years, I think a tokenized issuance will be the norm.
Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. In today's video, we're going to be jumping down the rabbit hole, showing you all that financial institutions are 110% building out an infrastructure in order to onboard into this digital asset ecosystem. They are interested in cryptocurrency assets, and this digital transformation is only going to continue to scale over the next consecutive couple of months/years as we head into 2025 and beyond. If you all enjoy these video breakdowns today, we're going to jump into some fundamentals and some panel discussions, playing some video clips for you all, proving some of the statements that I'm making to you all today. Do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. It does help boost the algorithm and push these video breakdowns out to more like-minded individuals like yourselves, and it helps the platform grow. With that being said, let's share screen and let's jump in. We're actually going to start out with a August 2024 IMF working paper. Shout out to the CYPRX researchers for this, always putting in work behind the scenes, dropping valuable gems in the CYPRX Discord. You guys can see this paper listed, International Monetary Fund. This is from the IMF working paper, Programmability in Payment and Settlement, Concepts and Implications. You can see the date, the 2024 August stamp on it, International Monetary Fund, just to show you guys again that this information is information that the mainstream is never going to bring to anybody's attention. And in this document, we're going to scroll right down here to page 17. They talk about DeFi. Now, we have been reiterating to individuals, not only on X, but also on YouTube, that you should start to pay attention to DeFi, earning yield on your digital assets, whether that's through deploying stable coins onto DEXs and liquidity pools and earning yield, lending, borrowing, staking, everything surrounding the DeFi ecosystem and how massive it is going to grow, and how you right now in the moment during this sideways price action or pullback or bull market, doesn't matter the type of market cycle that we are in, could be earning yield on your digital assets. Now, I just wanted to show you guys that they are talking about onboarding financial institutions into the digital asset ecosystem. They're running through tests, they're running through proof of concepts, and they're telling you this openly in their working paper. So here you can see them mention decentralized finance, particularly talking about DeFi. And then right down here, we're going to scroll to page 21. And I just want to read two segments for you guys where it says right here, let's zoom in so you all can see this. It says, extensive research is underway to adapt the model of permissionless blockchains and their ecosystems into the context of traditional finance. That is a massive statement right there, and it goes hand in hand with something that a representative, from JP Morgan said on stage 9 months ago. This particular video breakdown only has 516 views. Take into consideration that there are about 7 to 10 million active DeFi users and only about 560 active cryptocurrency users in the world right now. So nobody is paying attention to this. This video breakdown is like the 1% of the 1% of the 1% of the 1% watch this video, including myself and some of the other CYPRX researchers. So you can see here, again, extensive research is underway to adapt the model of permissionless blockchains and their ecosystems into the context of traditional finance. Let's just read this. Projects supporting programmable financial platforms, including private initiatives like Onyx, SDX, national CBDC platforms, and multilateral cross-border payments. Other projects seek to connect tokenized forms of money, we're going to get into tokenization of real-world assets in just 1 second, with payments and traditional financial instruments with DeFi infrastructures. Forge-backed efforts to create a global permissional platform have started with private initiatives to public-private partnerships such as Project Agora. While most of these projects are in early phases of exploration, these hybrid financial systems are more open, interconnected, and robust than most existing payment and settlement environments. As some early failures have shown, it will take time. Pay attention, it will take time. I'm not here as a bullish moon boy. I just wanted to touch base on that real fast just to show you guys that they are talking about this. They're talking about DeFi infrastructures being built out. They're talking about bringing traditional financial institutions on chain. And like I mentioned, this goes hand in hand. Let's stop share and let's present this screen so you guys can actually hear this video. This goes hand in hand with what a representative from JP Morgan said about how they're building out the infrastructure in order to literally drag and drop the old system onto this new digital infrastructure via adopting public blockchains. Take a second and let's listen to this real quick. This is from, I'm not too entirely sure. This is on the Masari YouTube channel. And again, like I mentioned, only has 516 views. So let's play this clip real quick. It's about 1.5 minutes long.
We're experimenting in crypto. So Tyron, if you could give us some history about and perspective of the transition from private institutional blockchains to maybe more public, or what you guys are using today. And Eric, I know you have really interesting opinions on where that's going to go in the future.
Yeah, and maybe I can just provide a little bit of context in terms of just the traditional financial services market and how we think about the requirements really to be able to operate a safe and sound system. So JP Morgan processes about $10 trillion of payments every day. That's 400 times the global stablecoin daily volume. The global FX market is about $5 trillion. And so when we think about utilizing blockchains as a settlement layer, we need the infrastructure to actually support these volumes, and we need them to support the scale that the traditional financial services market is at. So right now, clearly, there are a number of reasons, both technological-wise, but also regulatory-wise, as to why we have to use permissioned blockchains. However, you can think about these, globally ever-present, always up, highly redundant public blockchains as a really, really attractive settlement layer that can, service this global market. However, until we actually solve some of the key challenges, specifically around privacy, specifically around things like AML, KYC, it does become difficult for us to fully step into that environment. We did a project last year with the Monetary Authority of Singapore where we demonstrated what it would actually look like for a regulated institution like ourselves to utilize public DeFi protocols, to utilize public blockchains. And very clearly, there were lots of very insightful learnings for us. The transparency that you get around DeFi pools, for example, the ability to have anytime price discovery through a DeFi protocol, very, very important and interesting. Also, the lower cost. But as I said, until we actually have some clarity around the ability to actually operate on this infrastructure from a reg perspective, we're going to have to be in the sort of permission view until we can take some of the hybrid steps. And those hybrid steps look like some of the existing infrastructure that is coming out right now around subnets or permission zones or these kinds of things. And from our perspective, the reason why we operate an EVM sidechain is so that everything that we build can actually be portable into a public environment. So all of our contracts are written in Solidity. We use ERC20s for the most part for our tokens. All of our developer tooling is, utilizes the public Ethereum ecosystem's tooling set. So actually moving into the public blockchain environment when we can will be much of a sort of a lift and drop scenario.
Right? Moving into the public blockchain environment when we can will be sort of a lift and drop scenario. Okay. And you guys just saw the paper from the IMF where they are literally building out the infrastructure and they're in the process of doing this right now. So keep in mind that this video is from 9 months ago. The working paper that I just showed you all is from this month. As of time of recording it, it's the 22nd of August. I don't know when I'm going to drop this on the YouTube, but just to show you guys that there are ongoing developments, be forward looking and don't lose sight of the long-term picture of this digital asset landscape. Next, we're going to jump into this fundamental piece. I'm going to try to sift through this because this video is already going on 9 minutes because I still have 4 video clips that I want to play and one more fundamental PDF that I want to read to you guys. So this is from, I'm not going to butcher this lady's name, but it's from the 13th of August, and it says Ripple targets institutional grade DeFi with tokenization. We're going to listen to Marcus Infinger, and we're also going to listen to the CEO of CYPRX talk about this particular fundamental piece. Okay, trillions of dollars flooding in, real world asset tokenization happening at a scale that we've never seen before, and the XRPL playing a major role in it all. So Ripple, a provider of enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions, is allocating $10 million to tokenize treasury bills with Open Eden after collaborating with CYPRX, the UK-regulated digital asset exchange, broker, and custodian, to tokenize real-world assets. On the 1st of August, Ripple said it will allocate $10 million into the tokenized U.S. Treasury bills on Open Eden tokenization platform. This is a part of a larger fund that Ripple will allocate to tokenized T-bills provided by a number of issuers. At the same time, OpenEden will bring tokenized US Treasury bills to the XRP ledger and its users for the first time. I highlighted that in red because, again, so many people would be like, oh, where's the bullish price action at? No, this is happening all for the very first time. Be patient and wait for it all to play out. Sit back and watch the show unfold. Marcus Enfinger, Senior Vice President at RippleX. Let's try to zoom in so you guys can actually see this print. Told market media and the market has not fully grasped the degree of the validation that BlackRock brings to tokenization as the largest asset manager in the world. RippleX is the business unit at Ripple supporting partnerships and developer growth around the XRP ledger. The launch of the spot Bitcoin ETFs got more noise, but in my personal opinion, BUIDL is a way bigger deal because it marks the beginning of blockchain being used for utility, pay attention, utility in financial markets at scale, he added. BUIDL opens the door and the floodgates, and Ripple has been about that since day one. Continuing on to the bottom of this piece, it says, there are many other blockchains out there, but Enfinger argued that the XRPL is differentiated as one of the oldest protocols as it was created back in 2012 and has been battle tested in the real world, which is important. XRPL has a track record of consistently and securely facilitating transactions in 3 to 5 seconds throughout bull and bear markets and has processed over 2.8 billion transactions, he said. Ripple said that XRPL has been the home of over 1,000 projects, processed more than 2.8 billion transactions without failure or security breaches since 2012, and supported over 5 million active wallets with a network of over 120 validators. Enfinger continued that the XRPL has a native decentralized exchange, i.e. a DEX, and tokenization back into the protocol, which means it has and is more secure than using smart contracts. We have a roadmap of Ripple working with financial community members, which we call institutional grade DeFi. For example, in June of this year, Ripple and Archax, the UK's first financial conduct authority regulated digital asset exchange broker and custodian, announced an extension to their existing collaboration to bring tokenized real-world assets to the XRPL. And this is a statement directly from the Archax CEO, Graham Rodford. He said, we have hit a tipping point for mainstream adoption of digital assets for real-world use cases. Financial institutions are now understanding this, and we are excited to play our part in helping them to embrace the technology by bringing their assets onto the XRPL, okay? Keep in mind, they're talking about financial institutions for the first time ever are starting to realize that all of this is even possible and that it's unfolding at a rapid and unprecedented pace. So let's stop share. And I want to actually play a video clip from the CEO of Archax, and I want you to listen to his personal projection about how much money is about to come on chain. It is literally going to blow your mind. It blew mine when I heard him say this, because for a regulated financial entity to openly say this on a public forum for everybody to listen to and watch is mind-blowing, because again, it could bite him in the butt long term. And he said this very comfortably. So let's take a second and listen to what he has to say here.
The future financial market is much bigger. It's a combination of the two universes, if you like. So the number that will end up on chain will dwarf the financials market today, but the period of transition is going to take some time. We're living and breathing this at the moment, where we might have a good idea that, okay, collateral is going to move on chain. That's great, but you've got to go out there and get some of the biggest banks in the world, clearinghouses, CSDs, customers to all move towards using those types of transactions, and that's going to take a long time. But I reckon over the next 1 to 3 years, we should see a good couple of trillion on there at least, and then 5 to 10 years, I think a tokenized issuance will be the norm.
Right. So he said 1 to 3 years, couple of trillion, 5 to 10 years. That's why I mentioned to you guys, have a zoomed out perspective. Don't get too caught in the now and focused long term. Multi-trillion-dollar market cap, trillions of dollars coming on chain, exponential growth. I mean, for him to come out and say that was just phenomenal to see. So I thought that I'd share that with you guys because he was involved in that piece. Now, let's head over to another video breakdown real quick of Marcus Enfinger capitalizing on the terminology utility in that one article that I just highlighted for you all. Marcus Enfinger also commented on that in this little tiny interview that he was involved in.
Fall in place, I would say, on the regulatory front. And look, we've demonstrated with Ripple that you can use blockchain technology today in a way that's compatible with compliance frameworks. And we're doing that, as I said before, in the billions of dollars every year in terms of doing payments way at a fraction of the cost and the time than in legacy systems. So it's possible, right? I think if we want to enlarge and see more, like there's over $1 quadrillion of financial assets off chain. And, if you want to see, I don't know, 10% of that coming on chain. We have like maybe 150 billion in terms of stablecoin so far. Yeah, regulation, I would say, is a key piece in terms of surveys we're doing for more of TradFi to come on chain, but that's now starting to really fall more in place. Think of Mika in Europe or Singapore or UAE, where you see frameworks really emerging. And so I do expect that we're really at the start of a paradigm shift whereby blockchain technology is really going beyond much of the hype and really into utility and powering financial activity.
He literally just mentioned we are at the starting point. So take a step back. Don't get all crazy bullish moon boy hypey and expect the $1,000 XRP price tag tomorrow. Understand how much money is still sitting on the sidelines. He mentioned quadrillions of dollars. And he said, if we want to see even 10% of that money, which is a lot of money, people, come on chain, we need to see the regulatory developments continue to unfold. We need to see banking institutions continue to become comfortable with this space through education and whatnot. And it will happen over time. We are at the forefront of all of this. All right. And when you understand that, man, that becomes super powerful, because right now, a digital asset like XRP is what? I don't know, 60, 50 some odd cents or something like that. That is insane. In my personal opinion, looking back 2030 and beyond, individuals that bought digital assets that house real world utility are going to look back. People are going to call you lucky. You are going to know the trials and tribulations that you went through, and your family members at the end of the day, hopefully you bless them, are going to be thanking you. Okay, not financial advice. Last but not least, I have this and one more video clip to play for you guys from an event that took place that Ripple posted in, let's say, a month ago at XRP Ledger Apex 2024. Right, so we're just going to play about a 1.5 minute long video clip, but just to show you guys, this is from Global Digital Finance, and on their paper, it mentions here, major financial institutions believe private debt will be the first asset to be tokenized and routinely traded digitally. New global research from industry association Global Digital Finance shows. And in this particular report, they interviewed finance firms from US, Asia, Europe, and the UK, along with the Middle East, responsible for about $221 billion of assets under management. And it says right here, 70% selected private debt as the first asset to be tokenized, routinely traded, ahead of 62% of individuals surveyed selecting money market funds. Almost all, 92% of individuals surveyed questioned said their firm had started to see benefits from tokenization and digital asset trading, while 79% of them have experienced call savings from a switch to digital assets. I want you to remember something that an individual said on stage about financial institutions understanding that the crypto rails are much more efficient and better than the traditional rails, and that they will move over slowly.
And so what is the value of DeFi today relative to what people perceive the value of DeFi might have been 3 years ago? Well, the value is that it's actually easier and faster and better to build financial products on a DeFi stack than it is to build it on the old traditional financial stack that was built over the last 50 years. And that's why you're seeing major banks, major PBs start to build things like tokenized money market funds. Because they see this and they say, oh, the crypto rails are actually better for trading these traditional assets than the current rails that we have. So we're going to move over slowly.
And now, last but not least, we're just going to head over here, and I have one last clip for you guys to play. We're just going to take a second and listen to this last video clip. If you guys have enjoyed this video breakdown, as always, bringing you information that's never going to reach the mainstream, keeping you forward looking and in the loop with what's actually happening behind the scenes via these massive developments to bring financial institutions onto and into this digital asset ecosystem. Smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. We do appreciate the love and the support. Let's listen to what these individual representatives, it's going to be 3 speakers back to back to back, talk about the future of this financial ecosystem and what they see potentially unfolding.
I hope we're going to look back on this time as a very special early stage entry into a new world. Bringing RWAs on chain makes complete sense. It opens so much liquidity, and we can do so much more with the assets. So for me, I think the big thing is regulation, sensible regulation, fast, so we can all get on with building. So yeah, that's right.
Guys, can I go back to your last question very quickly, if that's okay?
Please do.
So I think, from my point of view, there's 2 key areas that we still need to see more innovation, which is access and utility, which I feel like I maybe harped on about that. Anyone who listens to me talk hears me talk about this all the time. But in reality...
So the first guy mentioned regulation. This guy's talking about utility, right? Keywords, Marcus and Finger mentioned both of those things. Regulation, utility, they're all tapped in, people. They all know what's happening behind the scenes. And this is unfolding. This happened at XRP Ledger Apex 2024.
we need more products to be building use cases for once these assets come on chain. Once they come on chain, what happens with them, the real value people will find, and the reason they will come on chain and want to own these assets on chain is because they can find more value than they could have in the traditional space. So I think there's a huge opportunity for those that are wanting to build utility around these assets and how you can actually put these assets to work and do things that are more interesting than you can do now.
Again, he mentioned putting your assets to work. What have we been talking about? Through the utilization of DeFi, you can leverage these DeFi protocols, these DeFi solutions to put your digital assets to work for you to start earning yield. And you see institutional representatives sitting on stage at XRPL Apex 2024 mentioning the same exact thing, putting your digital assets to work. If you guys want to learn about DeFi more in depth, head over to CYPRXtrading.com. Come tap in with us at the Wealth 28 Club so you can learn an A to Z approach and a strategical advantage on how to utilize DeFi to your benefit.
And then secondly, access. So one of the incredible things about coming on chain and about coming onto things like XRPL is it instantly becomes global. So you can take these assets anywhere in the world and use them anywhere in the world, but you need the rails for those anywhere in the world to actually access these assets. So the ability to buy $1 worth of gold because you now want to save in gold versus save in dollars, these kind of access points that are going to be fairly geographically niche. These are the kind of opportunities that will be around all kinds of RWA assets. I think then if I answer your second question, inevitably, this is going to be a revolution that will change the RWA space in many ways. But I think most of us agree, and everyone who's here in the audience in particular will agree that it's unstoppable now.
Right. I see. There's a huge adoption happened since 2017. It's actually now we are solving the problem of issuing the tokens, converting them from a physical, interest to a digital interest. But then there is somebody who needs to buy those tokens. So now we are creating those global liquidity distribution rails would actually have a creation of liquidity. So that's something which is extremely important. And that's one of the reasons that more asset owners and institutions would actually, adopt this and then put these assets on chains because they have a buy side. And the buy side would consist of different entities. So not only ATS or decentralized exchanges, but there are family offices, sovereign funds, financial institutions, broker-dealer networks. All of these entities would like to invest in digital assets. And those global liquidity.
Right. So I'll stop it right there. He says all of these entities, global sovereign wealth funds, private family offices, institutions, they all want to invest in digital assets. They are right now in the process of building out the rails. In a nutshell, that is what he just said. The gentleman before mentioned utility, regulation, that this is the cat's out of the bag, right? They can't put the cat back in the bag. It's out of the bag. This is not going to stop. This is not going to go away, right? This is going to continue to evolve. Get on board, people. Tap in, start to educate yourself. Join a like-minded community like ours here at CYPRX, the Wealth 28 Club, teaching you guys about DeFi. Maybe you don't want to go and deploy in the DeFi ecosystem right now, right? Because you're still skeptical. You're still waiting on regulation. But you can still go out and you can educate yourself about the DeFi ecosystem. So that way, during the next bull market cycle, when you take profit, you know how to deploy into DeFi protocols and in the DeFi ecosystem, so you can start earning yield on all the money that you made in the bull market cycle, instead of turning that back into fiat, back into cash, going and spending it on materialistic items that are going to lose value over time, and you can keep and maintain your wealth. As always, many blessings to you guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video breakdown. If you did, again, do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe. If anybody is interested in what it is that I'm talking about through the utilization of DeFi, earning in the now, growing your wealth, growing your digital assets, head over to CYPRXtrading.com. We'd love to have you on the team. And as always, many blessings to you guys. And none of this is financial advice. Always do your own personal research and assess your risk properly. And I will see you guys in the next video breakdown.